Good evening, Gabby Agbon Lahore. Good evening, Ruben Neves. Good evening, everyone who is having a pop at the Arsenal for celebrating. In the famous words of our good friend of the show, Jason Cundy, has anyone seen all the joy killers who want to poo-poo fans for celebrating their team getting 3 massive points? It's a brand new week. It's a blank canvas. It's the Highbury squad. Let's go!
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury squad.
Hello, it's me. I'm in Barcelona dreaming about how things used to be. Super Kevin Campbell, welcome back to the show, my podcast brother from another mother.
I didn't appreciate you just mentioning Barcelona there, you know.
But it's a pop-up, you know.
No,
so.
no, I didn't enjoy that at all after El Clasico last night.
I know, because you're a Madridista. Sirens, they're coming to get him. They're coming to get him, Kev.
I had a bad day yesterday.
Oh my
Two
God,
of my
Kev.
teams got done by the same score, Sophie. It was terrible. But you know what? At East Squad, the Gooners made my weekend at least. At ease. Jeez.
Kev, I am so very sorry about your toffees in particular. It's not good. It's not good at all.
Well, that's their... Sophie, we've discussed it a little.
Yeah.
But that's been their problem all season. Whether there's an experienced manager in there, well, they're just not good enough. So they haven't got no consistency. And let me tell you something. If they stay up, Frank Lampard has to rip that squad apart. And he will, because he knows. He knows what he needs to do. He just needs to make sure they're safe. That's
Exactly. Okay, so hello everybody. Welcome to the big shoe. It's not my new mic, it's my old mic. Remember when I used to hold it back in the day? Here's the good news. Your ears will not be destroyed this evening. I've taken that Yeti and I've thrown it out the backyard to the point where Vinny and Vesper used it as a toy. There's a replacement mic coming. So let me know if this is working for you and all is good. The good
Did they
news
get any
is
feedback?
I wouldn't.
Even as a toy, did they get a little bit of feedback on that? Jeez. That mic had a mind of its own.
Oh my God, Kev, after the Villa game, it blew up everybody. And I'm like, I cannot.
You can't
do that. Can't do that.
Got to go, Soph. Got to go.
Got to go. And we honestly, I'm going to be honest. I think 80 people left the live.
You knew something was up. Hold on.
Good evening, everyone in the house. Hello, the usual suspects. Lone Star gives us a clear as a bell. We love that. Hi, Kevin. Ugo Chukwu is back in the house.
Where are you going?
Matty K is back saying hello to all his mates. We got Trevor. We got Matthew. We got Tammy. We got Uta B. Denim. I'm a denim on denim girl. Does anyone else like denim on denim? I love denim on denim. Say that fast, Kev. Denim on denim.
Denim on denim.
Well, I mean, that wasn't a hard one, was it? Really?
Is it a tongue? Was that supposed to be a tongue twist?
I mean, I'll have another one for you.
Hold on, I'll put my other teeth in, eh?
Happy Monday to everyone except Ruben Neves, Ashley Young, and Gabby Ogbon Lahore. Let's get stuck into this.
No, Mira, no. What you've got to do, you've got to give them even more wishes.
Oh, well wishes. Yeah,
they make it even sweeter for us.
In it. Hello, Liz. We hope everything's good with Mum. Keep us updated on that.
Loving, hope Mum's okay.
And Jaffa's with you. We've got little Soph in the house. We've got the usual suspect troublemakers in the house. And then Harvey starts off the show as it should be. Hello, Iceland. You know, I'd love to go to Iceland and play golf at like 10 o'clock at night. I haven't done that yet, Kev. It's a bucket list one for me.
The bucket list, yeah.
Yes. All right, let's get this show cracking, shall we? The Arsenal win at the weekend, and my goodness gracious me. Who knew, Kev? Who knew that such happiness from our fans? How much it would bother so many people. And there's only one talking point to start with, and I'm actually going to put my mic down and just listen to you, because I had my say. And I have to say, when we come on the show after a game, you're thinking about the game, you're thinking about all the bits and pieces, who played well, who didn't. I went back and watched the whole game again, and I've watched the post-game celebrations 5 or 6 times. So I'm happy that we're on the show tonight to discuss it, because if you're a true Gooner, you loved it. And I have to say, kudos to, I was listening to the Drive Time show today with Andy Goldstein, who usually has a real pop at Arsenal. And he's like, what's the problem? And then fans called up and said, we pay so much hard-earned money. We go to watch our team. We got 3 points. We started off awfully. Like, the connection is between us and the players. It's got nothing to do with
anybody else. That's right.
So, Kev, I would like to hear your take, because Laura Wood scored Gabby Agbon-Lahore on the breakfast show this morning. I put a tweet out, which I had sometimes where you tweet innocuously. I put this tweet out about the connectivity between the fans and the players. And it's been like, it's like almost 1,800 likes. Harry Symeou put one out today retweeting Laura's, and has gone viral as well. I want to hear what Super Kevin Campbell has to say.
Well, if I'm honest with you, I think Laura done such a great job explaining everything. But the way I look at it, Soph, this connection that the players and manager now has with the fan base, obviously it has to be earned, Sophie. We know that. It had to be earned. And the team have earned the connection. They are really in tune with the fan base, especially now away from home. And there was question marks about going to a resurgent Aston Villa to try and get a result. Let's be honest, we didn't know what was going to happen after losing our 5-game streak. We didn't know. We just, all we could do was hope we turn up and we can have that form moving forward. But Sophie, let's be honest what we witnessed. We witnessed a dominant Arsenal performance away from home. We witnessed one of our star players in Saka scoring the winning goal, getting kicked to bits, kept getting up, had to come off because he was carrying a little knock, which is fine. But we still look solid. We still look like 1-0 to the Arsenal was enough. And there ain't a lot of times where you could say that away from home, Sophie. 1-0 to the Arsenal was enough. But we didn't look like conceding. So the fans have paid their hard-earned money. The fans have travelled up there. Aston Villa are a big club. And we go there and take the spoils. If you can't celebrate that, Sophie, something's wrong. But let me tell you this, Sophie. We are getting in the gum, in the craw of a lot of people now. Why? Because we're not the Arsenal of old, Sophie. We're not the Arsenal of old who can play these games and fold. Who can fold? Who, when the going gets tough, Sophie, we used to buckle. And don't forget, this is a side who have improved. They done the double over us last season. So. Beat us 1-0 there and beat us convincingly at the Emirates. So there's a little bit of payback in there as well. Now we've done the double over them. You're damn right you go and celebrate. You're damn right you go and enjoy it with your fan base. 100%. People coming out talking about they're celebrating like they've won the Champions League or won the league. Truth of the matter is, Sophie, I don't care. Bring it on. Keep it coming. Because you know what that means? That means we're moving in the right direction. Everyone is against us. We've discussed this on air before. Everyone is against us. You've seen press, you've seen media, you've seen pundits all come for our neck. And what's happened, Sophie? All we've done is get closer together and get stronger. So keep it coming, guys. We love it. Keep it coming. Because you know what? This team now understand what it means to play for the Arsenal. I'm telling you, they get it now. We have got some balls in the team. What's going to happen in the next 10 games, Sophie? I don't know. But you know what I realize about this team now? We're getting it. We're starting to play with that tempo. We're starting to play with an aggression. And you know what, Soph? If we had a number 9 who could stick the ball away, that game is over in the first half. Over. But we know where we are. We know where we are. And you know what? The opportunity is in our hands and we're taking it. And I am delighted. Gabby, Neves, everybody, keep it coming, please. Please.
Wait, where is it?
Rock it up. Yeah. Rock up the neck, man. Pop it. Take the head off, Soph. They're coming for us because they don't want us back to where we belong. I'm telling you.
They really don't. And the ironic part of what Agbon Lahore said was in November 2021 when Steven Gerrard first took over after Aston Villa were kind of on their knees. And this lauding of Aston Villa is, you know, it's so funny, isn't it? It's so in so many ways. It's like, what have they done? Yeah, people laud them because they signed Gerrard, they signed Coutinho, they had Grealish. Yet, what have they done? Hardly anything. And in November 2021, they won their game. And he said, and I quote, and you can look at it, just search for it on Twitter, you guys, you will find it. Steven Gerrard celebrated that goal like they had won a cup, and that's what the fans want to see. Fast forward to us today, this is where people need to be very, very careful about what they say. Because the juxtaposition to that is, and he doubled down on it with Laura as well. It's like, so it's okay for Gerrard to celebrate like he'd won a cup, and for your fan base, you just don't like the fact that we bitch slapped your team, Gabby. You just don't like the fact that in the first half we absolutely annihilated you, and in the second half we executed a professional performance that people have not seen from the Arsenal Football Club in a very long time. And Kev and I talked on Friday about learning how to win and close out games. And Super Kev said on this show weeks ago, I will take, when it was 15 cup finals, 16 cup finals, he said, I will take 1-0 wins all day long, Soph. And they do not like it one bit. Leeds United, when they came back from Wolves, celebrated like they had won the league. Manchester United, when Ronaldo scored that hat-trick and they were back again, celebrated like they had won the league. Your club, to be fair, Kevin, at home to Newcastle, when they won that very important game, that 6-pointer, celebrated like they had won the league. Do you remember the old Balotelli t-shirt, why always me? Why always Arsenal? Why?
You know why, Soph. You know why. Because they don't like us, Sophie. They don't like, when Arsenal are doing well, even when it was the Invincibles, you think about this, even when it was the Invincibles, we had to fight against everyone. They respected the team, but we still had to fight against everyone. Referees didn't like that, you know, the team were doing so good. We're fighting against the opposition, you're fighting against fans, you're fighting against media. And every opportunity they could derail us, it would come. Oh, they're getting too many red cards. Vieira's getting sent off. This, that, the other. Arsene Wenger's this. Arsene Wenger's that. So they would always take shots at us. So it just is. That's what I want. Now we've got a team and we're building. This hardens them, Soph. This is important. Hardens them. 2, we are the Arsenal. And we roll our sleeves up and we bring it on. Because they are not going to give us any credit. We get top 4, you should be winning the league. That's the way it goes, Sophie. That's the way it goes. You don't get top 4, see, they're not good enough. Hey, we know our deficiencies, Sophie. Let's be honest. We've discussed it more than enough with the squaddies on here. We know our deficiencies. But the fact of the matter is, this young team are giving us a great chance, giving us an opportunity to believe. They believe.
Yes, and Kev, I think, and Suraj, thank you for bringing this to Kevin's attention. 330, Kev, in live chat.
I want at least 180. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Do a Vinny. Hit the like button, smash it. Rock it up. Come on. Don't break it. Rock it up.
Kev, I also think that people mistook our celebrating like we had qualified for Champions League versus just winning a game that was massive in the pursuit for top 4.
Every game's going to be like that, Soph.
Yes.
Every game now. Every game we win now is going to be a celebration for us. Because they have a belief that they can do it. We have a belief that they can do it. We want them to do it so much. Are we going to do it? We don't know, Sophie, because there's big games. But
massive.
we want it so bad, Sophie. Just imagine next season the Champions League music, Sophie. We could taste it, can't we? It's there. Yeah. It's there for us. It's there for us. So every game is a cup final. And do you know what, Sophie? After the last couple of years, 8th and 8th, isn't this more exciting for us?
Oh, it's just great. It's the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes.
It's the reason why some people like me have been hard on Arteta. It's the reason why some people have believed in what has been happening from the get-go. If you love the Arsenal Football Club and you do not have a hidden agenda, this is the moment that you have been waiting for. And this is what football is all about. And I don't want to get to that because it's going to be my last point. But my goodness, Kev, I reckon there's a game that's coming this... I'm not going to say it's as big as Anfield 89, but my God, it's coming. It is coming.
Well, here's the thing, Soph.
I was almost did one of these, Kev.
Yeah, that... Do you know the crazy thing about that game, Sophie? It might be at a point where it might be too late for them. That's what we're hoping.
Okay, I hope that because...
Well, it might be too late for them. That's what we're hoping.
Don't you think their schedule's easier than ours?
No, but it might be too late for them. It's easy on paper.
On paper, yeah. Because
don't forget, paper's easy to. It's easy to get wins and losses on paper. Easy.
All right, I'm going to get to that at the end. Okay. I wanted to put this up from Luis Giriago. Hey, fellow Greek right there. It's not a random 1-0. Tough victory against a tough mid-table team. It's because we keep doing it. 1-0 isn't sexy, but the fans know another tight win helps us grow and get closer to our goal. Harvey says the team want it so much and see Arteta on the sidelines. Guna Cole, if we best Spurs and Man United, they're going to have to grease the light poles. Listen.
It man's up there.
These are the games, Matty K. Kev and I have said it all along. You beat the Palaces, the Brightons, the Southamptons, the Leeds, the Newcastle. You can afford the 1 point in the NLD or even a loss in one of those games. You beat those teams in your Everton. Sorry, Kev.
That's what Arsenal have to do.
They have to.
You know, Everton have to take care of themselves. Arsenal have to look at these are the winnable games, and we've got to win.
You know, I love this from Petrim too. Firstly, we were not even in the conversation. Now we're over celebrating. Exactly. Well said. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and also West Ham celebrating as well. Schmooze the like, says Liz. Okay, let's get on to point number 2. 370 of you in live chat this fine Monday. Tammy will let us know. Let's get an update on that for sure from Suraj and Tammy, our like police. I love that. Matt says every 3 points we get is 3 points closer to securing top 4. Palace looked good yesterday. Well done, Patrick. April 4th is our game with them. By the way, they've secured a semi-final in the FA Cup. We're obviously very happy for Patrick Vieira. We would have liked to have been there, of course. But hopefully they'll be a bit distracted because that semi-final that they're playing, Kev, is that close to the April 4th date? Check for me, squaddies, when those semi-finals are going to be played. 127 likes, Kev, with 365 in live chat. Virginia, you were not there in the 80s. Let's see. Nobody is complaining now that Arteta is overcoaching on the sidelines.
Exactly. Funny,
so
eh?
You know what? Was it Andy Townsend who was the colour commentator, or someone at the weekend said, I wonder what Arteta does to ease his, all the energy he exerts on the sideline after the game. Does he have a massage? Does he go for a cool down? Does he have an ice bath himself? Fans
16th.
16th.
Okay, so it's either the 16th or 17th is to be decided. Yeah. So
that's going to be a tough game against Palace, Kev.
Palace is always going to be a tough game, London derby. Yeah. But listen, if we won it, we've got to deal with it. Simple as that.
Yep. All right, so let's move on to talking point number 2 for this fine Monday Madness evening. Welcome. Let's celebrate. It's Monday. I love it. I absolutely love it. I just love how salty. I tweeted to Agbon Lahore, who's not on, but through TalkSport, of course. I go, would you like some more salt on your chips? Ah! I was proud of that one, Kev.
Did he respond?
No, of course not. Okay, let's move on to point number 2, because I think this is an important one, Kev. Whenever Emile Smith-Rowe comes in, he does a good job. I actually cannot believe there are some marks that he got that people were giving him a 6 at the weekend. In the first half, I felt like he was the best player. You weren't on the post-game show, so I'd like to get your take on a few of these talking points that came up. To have Martinelli out and have Emile Smith-Rowe come in, or vice versa, what a joy. How lucky are we to have those options? Talk to me about what you saw from Emile Smith-Rowe, Kev, because I thought in the first half he was unplayable. I thought he confused Aston Villa with his movement. I felt like Tierney, even though Tierney was predictable for me, the connectivity between the two of them worked well. I thought Emile Smith-Rowe, when he didn't have the ability to pass the short ball, was able to open up the pitch with some sweeping passes, at least 2 great sweeping passes. Going forward into these last few cup finals that we have, what's your take on Emile Smith-Rowe, Martinelli? Do you still start Martinelli? Talk me through how you see this unfolding and how you thought Emile Smith-Rowe did at the weekend.
Well, you've just mentioned everything about Emile Smith-Rowe so eloquently. I think Smith-Rowe had a decent game. I thought first half, especially when we were really on top, he caused them a problem because he doesn't always stay wide. He can come inside and he can make that extra man, and then one day collapse the defense. He hits Saka, doesn't he? We shift the ball, hit Saka, and then we are really at the races. You know, I think he had a good chance to hit the target, didn't quite hit the target. But what we got to remember is as well, Smith-Rowe has been ill. He's had COVID. He's been out. He's come back. I thought he looked really good in the team. So far, I've got to say that. And I didn't think he was an average performer. I thought he was a good performer. For me, it was like a 7.5. Emil Smith Rowe on Saturday morning. It's an early game as well. But moving forward, so I think we've got such a great opportunity to be able to mix and match the squad. There's going to be times where Martinelli plays. Might be times where he doesn't, plays on the bench, and ESR plays, depending on the opposition. Because I think if teams sit deep on us, sometimes that negates the space, obviously, for Martinelli to run into. And what tends to happen is he's left with just having to come inside and cross it, and we're not blessed with height in the middle. So kind of we're playing into the opposition's hands, whereas Smith Rowe is a bit of a schemer, he's a dribbler, and I'm not saying Martinelli can't unlock a defense, but I think it's more suited to Emil Smith Rowe, who is a lender of the ball. He'll give it and get it back and give it again, and you see him work his way to the box and he could finish. So it's a great opportunity for Mikel Arteta to have. Is Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, obviously Pepe's there as well. It just depends on who the opposition is for me.
Martinelli has that individual brilliance where he can do something magical at any time in the game. I love what you just said about Emil Smith Rowe is kind of a sharer of the ball. He'll lend it. Lends it. That was what you said. Is this fair, Martin? Hi, good evening to you. So come on, ESR was a 6 at best. I just don't see how you saw that. At best, a great impact sub, but he don't start over Martinelli. Let's be real, he didn't take his chance. In the first half, we would never...
He's our joint top scorer. What are you talking about didn't take his chance?
And Kev, in that first half, we dominated the flanks. Saka dominated. Emil Smith Rowe dominated. And the midfield saw Thomas Partey, and I felt Xhaka in his more advanced role, saw what... Of course, that's how Arteta likes to play mostly. But I felt like the penetration and the danger that we created, and the fact that Aston Villa, Kev, weren't even pressing high, right? So Ben White had a chance to bring the ball out more. We were able to kind of be free taking it to the halfway line. And then when it got to... They put their money on suffocating Emil Smith Rowe or Saka, and it did not work for them. We had so much time on the ball to build out from the back, which was really weird and bizarre, to the point where...
But Sophie, let me just cut it into...
No, I love it. Yeah, go on.
They tried to press, but they couldn't stop our passing movement. So what you do as a team, you go, listen, we're getting picked off here. What we're going to do is we're going to retreat a bit. We can't go chasing it or else they'll just cut for us. Because Thomas Partey, and I'm sure we're going to get onto, he was incredible. When you can't press the ball, Sophie, you've got to protect.
Mm-hmm. So Kev, okay, so I love hearing your perspective on that, because as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, wow, they're really off the press. But what you're saying is that they saw how we were...
They tried to press. Mm-hmm. You watch them. There's times where they try to press and we just go bop, bop, bop around them and come out, and then we're in at them. They're like, so you can imagine, Tyrone Mings and all them boys will be saying, "Oi, no, do not press. Come back in here. Let's be a block," and then they have to break us down. That's why the likes of Ben White and Gabriel and that have a lot of time with the ball, but they've seen a lot of bodies in front of them.
Okay, so this is a question that's come up, and Charlie George, the only measure Arsenal success on the teams below fifth points, we are beating, yeah, agree with you. I want to get to this one from Mo, because there's a lot of people asking this question since Xhaka has been playing a bit higher now. Could ESL play in that spot instead? You always like saying, well, who do we sacrifice, right?
Well, we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
If you
just
remember,
reiterate it for, yeah.
So the key to it is Xhaka plays a bit further forward, but he is still a defensive player. That's what people have to understand. He is still a defensive player. Because you don't see him, when we're breaking, you don't see Xhaka ending up in the box at every opportunity. That's not his role. It's when we don't have the ball where you see Xhaka play that position. And that's where I think ESR would struggle at times in that position, Sophie, because he's attack first. Although he's a midfielder, he is attack first. His defensive duties are not quite what Xhaka's are. And it kind of makes sense because Xhaka is really a defensive midfielder in a sense, but he has got some quality and he's showing his quality a bit further forward of Partey. And you know what that does, Sophie? So they have to deal with Xhaka higher up, because if they don't go to Xhaka, we start getting the ball into Xhaka. But what that then allows is Thomas Partey to have a little bit more room to maneuver. And look at the way he's playing, Sophie. He's got the run of the midfield. People try and shut him down. He could manipulate the ball, play a 1-2, and he's out. He's that good. So could Smith Rowe play there? Maybe if we're at home, Sophie, against a team who just sit deep, maybe he can. But what that then leaves is only really Thomas Partey in the midfield. Whereas we've got a little insurance policy with Xhaka.
Totally get it. And Martin, appreciate that. I mean, he didn't take his
Good
chance,
question.
but like Kev said, Martin, he's top joint goal scorer. Now, obviously, 9 goals. We want more than that. That's why Kev keeps saying we need to move
Double figures
on.
we want. Yeah.
From
We're going to need
Lacazette.
him. We're going to need him
Yeah, definitely.
in the next 10 games. Yeah.
And it is a great problem to have, for sure. You know, both super talented, and they're going to get their chances. But look, this is a team sport, right? So Martinelli, even though we lost to Liverpool, he was the shining star. He's also been a shining star this season. Emil Smith-Rowe, joint top goal scorer, has had value and importance. Go on, Kev.
How about this one, Sophie? How about this one for you? There might be a time where we have to go 4-4-2.
Which worked well earlier in the season, Kev.
Exactly. So then you can get Martinelli with Laka. You understand? As strikers.
And have Emil on the left.
Emil on the left and Saka on the right.
I'm not.
So there might be
hate
games
that.
where we're going to go, right, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go 4-4-2. And Laka and Martinelli, you stay on the shoulder, and Laka, you do that. When we got the ball, when we haven't got the ball, we shut them down. But when we got the ball, we want you on the shoulder, Gabriel, Martinelli, and Laka, you link the play. We've seen that, we've done it. So that might be another crease for us to use in one or more of these next 10 games.
Yeah, what do you think of R? Because it's interesting because, of course, we're continually compared to City, Kev, with Arteta and Pep's relationship. He feels like we're starting to mirror City with regards to Gabby, Emil, Odegaard and Saka being striker and in front of Partey. He thinks it's seriously exciting. Do you see the similarities in terms of the approach? And even though we've said in the past we don't have the same talent as City, you've always said you can see what he's trying to do.
See what he's trying to do, yeah. And I think at times there were parts of that game on Saturday, especially, Sophie, where we were knocking the ball around and we were like, whoa, go on. It was like party football, wasn't it? It was like unbelievable. They couldn't get near us, Sophie. And that's when you know the team, the confidence is flowing through the team. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of work on the training ground. You could see it, Sophie, because it's just come together. And one of the reasons, Sophie, is because we don't have European football, probably. Not having European football, you can get down and you can get things drilled into the team so they can deliver. So yeah, I do see traits of Manchester City, etc. Of course I do. Just with different personnel. But you know one thing that is City's best, what is City's best thing? That they have so many players who they can interchange. That's their best trait. They have players who they can interchange from time to time, and they don't lose fluidity, they don't lose their tenacity, they don't lose that will to win. And that's where we are going. We have to get there, so We want to be up there challenging these teams and beating them. That's what we need.
Yeah, for sure. Tai, behave. It's such a badass. Kev, a quick one that I just wanted. Yeah, Super Kevin Campbell, 160 likes. Told them to kiss the like button if they love you, Kev. We're getting there.
Hit the like. Hit it. Do a viddy. Come on, peeps.
Kev, a couple of questions have come in real quick because you know how I like to, digress and then get back to the subject. Dybala, would you take him on a free? Okay.
No.
All right. He's very injury prone. That's the last thing we need.
He's unless he was scoring 20 odd goals, but he hasn't got size. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. So, you know what we need? We need power, speed, and a finisher at the top end. That's what we need.
Okay. Speaking of power, point number 3, because as I said, Kev wasn't on the post-game show, and I know you guys like to hear all of his thoughts, especially after we win, lose or draw. I've tried to avoid this subject a little bit myself.
Do you know what he's saying there, Sophie? Do you know what he's saying there?
What's he saying?
Where's Josh? Where is he? Wants to sell me?
Kev, even Mark Goldbridge, who has been loathsome towards the Arsenal over the years, absolutely ripped us to shreds and taken absolute pleasure and joy in doing so. You sent me a link as well about it. He has been lauding Thomas Partey and wondering why others haven't been lauding him as much. And actually, if you saw in the middle of the post-game show at the weekend, Kev, as I was waxing lyrical and apologising to Thomas directly like I was talking to him, the microphone blew up. And everyone was like, oh, he's trying to get you, Soph. He's listening. But I was literally talking to him directly with an apology of how I said the party was over after you got the red card from AFCON, and I don't see it. When are you going to deliver? Where is the Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid? And since then, it's been wonderful. But Kev, he's really grown into the league, the team, his teammates, his position, and, dare I say, brushed off that petulance from where he got the red card after AFCON. And now we're seeing why he was pursued by other teams, and in the end, the Arsenal were able to nab him. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this season, don't forget, before he went to AFCON, he was playing outstanding. And, sometimes it takes these foreign players a little while to adapt, Sophie. It's easy for us to just say, he's a good player. We've seen him play well at Atletico. We should just transfer that to English football. Sometimes a little bit more difficult. He's had difficulty keeping fit over here. There's been injuries because obviously the level of physicality is probably more than it is in Spain, whereas it's more technical. But look, at the end of the day, Sophie, here's what we got to say. Anybody who's watching Thomas Partey now, you could just see the class and the quality that he brings to the team. I said, who's the most important player? Do you remember on Kev Says? And I think he's our most important player because not only does he protect the back, he really does get us moving that ball through midfield. He's an excellent player, Sophie. And you know what? Long may it continue, because seeing a midfielder like that playing in our midfield, it's been a while since we've had one. And he's our main man. He's the general. He's our Rolls Royce in there. And you know what, Sophie? It makes you excited because when you start putting the other pieces to this jigsaw, we're going to be in business. We really are.
Yeah. Again, I'd like to see him now do this for every game to the end of the season, to be that Patrick Vieira type player that we've wanted. But this is grand in terms of how he's performed in the last few games. It was the two big games before he went off for AFCON where he performed well. Earlier in the season, he wasn't. But for sure, he's become really just integral to how we tick, how we move. And now you can see players responding to him in a more of a leadership role as well, Kev, which I don't think was happening before as well.
It's not a bad thing at
And
all.
Tenor, I would like to say this, yes, and next time I'm on Sky Sports, I'm actually going to say this out loud on camera. I don't think anyone wants Arsenal to qualify for the Champions League unless you're an Arsenal fan.
They don't. They're against us.
And it's alarming to me.
No, it's not. It's not to me, Soph. Not to me.
You know what it is, Kev? The golden boy Harry Kane. There's this desperate push for him to win something, to have this narrative, to have this storyline, to have him be a success. Every single time he breaks a record, or he and Son and this and that, it's like it's celebrated with such grandeur, yet we can't even celebrate 3 points against Aston Villa. That North London derby, Kev, I said it weeks and weeks and weeks ago. That's going to be like worse than the Champions League final, watching them play Liverpool. That is going to be the game. And you've said this, South London's finest from day one. George Graham.
They don't like us. They don't want us to do anything. Have you noticed, Sophie? They were nice to us when we're doing bad.
Yes. They pitied us. I
pity
the fool. Pity the fool.
I pity the fool. That's what they would do. Listen, I don't want to be there. We want to be at the cutting edge where you could see that they're horrible to us, Sophie. You could see that they want other teams. But you know what we have to do, Sophie? Just go under that radar and keep doing what we're doing. Because that makes them even angrier.
Absolutely. Totally. Newman, are you insane? You must be insane. I'm going to give you a warning right now, and then you'll get a card. Song was better than Partey.
No, that ain't all he put. He put up their party was, average. He deserves a yellow for me.
Fine. It's been a while since I've brandished a card. Here we go.
Yellow. He's taking the mic on him. Yeah, taking the Mickey. And if he comes back with anything else, with any lip, bring it to VAR. I tell you.
Oh, that felt so good. I feel good. Done, Virginia. Super Kevin Campbell called for it. We brandished it.
He's got to go.
VAR has looked at it and it stands. That is that. 20-game ban. That's hilarious. Newman deserves a red card. Give Taib a yellow too. Taib's close today. I've been monitoring. I've got it. Matty K, keep your eye on stuff here. Virginia, you too. Tammy, let us know what the like button's like. 445 in live chat. Super Kev, I would like to move on to this young man in, I think it's our fourth top. Is it our fourth? Am I number 4 right now? Maybe you guys can let me know. Either way, Steven Gerrard having a pop at Saka, talking about protection. Meanwhile, again, just like Gabby Agbon-Lahore forgetting what he says in the press, Steven Gerrard talked about when he was at Rangers for his players to be protected. Number 1, you've got to protect the dog, all right? And number 2, you've got to protect our boys. And number 3, I don't care how old they are, Saka is getting kicked left, right, and centre, Kev. And Grealish gets every foul in the book. He's the most fouled player who gets the most free kicks. Isn't it time some respect was put on this young man? And Steven Gerrard, what are your thoughts on that?
Look, when it's your team, the manager wants to protect it. But when it's not your team, he came out and said he likes Saka. But, he's going to come out with... He's going to protect his team for doing what they done, Sophie. Come on. This is normal. But obviously, we would jump on it because he said one thing, but he's doing another. That's what these guys do, Sophie. That's what these guys do. It is part and parcel. He mentioned something that he's had 16 ops and he's had pins in his hip. That's what Saka doesn't want. Saka doesn't want to get to the end of his career and have pins in his hip. That's why, in a nice, articulate way, he said that to the referee. I want some protection. And you know what? Damn right. And you know the other thing, Sophie? What I want to see? When he starts getting kicked from pillar to post, I want to see the Arsenal players, like they did with that Tyrone Mings one, get in there. Go and protect this young man. Because you know what? He's a special talent. We've got some special youngsters at our club, and they need protecting. And I saw Thomas Partey, Lacazette, and Xhaka in there. Good. Finally, the team have that feeling for their teammates that they'll get in there. So it's important. It is important. So I'm not fussed about what Steven Gerrard says. Hey,
it's just interesting again, like the contradiction when it's his, he's protecting his players. And you know what? Saka, very savvy, very smart. He's starting to understand the bigger picture here. And i.e. maybe being taught a little bit by some of the senior players or the coaching staff. Say something in your post-match presser about you being tackled and getting no decisions. Fergie was the master of putting pressure on the referees, and I love seeing us have a little bit of gamesmanship and shithousery about us in the post-game stuff, Kev, because it does. Yeah, we're learning slowly but surely.
We're learning.
That we like Craig, but come on, Craig, really? Oh no, you can't say that. Did you really say? I'm going to give you the opportunity to erase that comment. Matty K saying his Man United friends, he's not worth more than 40 million. They're just jealous that look what's happened to Greenwood and Rashford. They're just jelly. They're jelly.
Sophie, remember, we don't care what these other people think. It's what we think in the Arsenal family that counts. That's all that matters. Because you know what, Sophie? I remember back in the day, nobody gave us a chance to win anything. But the Arsenal did. And the Arsenal became one of the most successful clubs in that era.
Absolutely.
And they still hated it. So.
Totally. Did he really say that Partey couldn't get into Tottenham's team? Because if he did, it's a second yellow. Thank you very much. The Canadian tuxedo. Yep. All I need is one of the... I have those. What do they call those things? Those necklaces, those cowboy necklaces. What do they call those? I have a ton of them from like the 80s and 90s. Do you remember those when they were popular, Kev? Yeah.
Like a pencil. Is it like a pencil?
Yeah. I need Tony to tell me what they're called.
Sorry, like a shoelace.
Like it's on like a shoelace, and they're like, they're gems, and I got a ton of those as well. I like a bit of country. She's a little bit country. Did he really say that? Okay, let's move on. Number 5, Super Kev. I did want to touch on this a little bit because you know how we like to talk about... This is going to be a quick one and then I'll get onto another subject with you real quick. Of course, Aubameyang scoring goals at Barcelona is going to create a narrative and a conversation. For me, if I was him, I'd be embarrassed about how clearly he gave up on Arsenal, didn't put in his graft, didn't put in his, the work, gave up to push a move.
Sophie, I'm delighted for him. At the end of the day,
I used to be, now I'm not.
Yeah, I'm delighted for him because you know what? Aubameyang, in the end, didn't want to be at Arsenal. He didn't want to be at Arsenal. So the fact that he's gone out to Spain and he's scoring goals, fantastic. Hey, good for him. He looked sharp. But I mean, you look at some of the defending. I mean, he weren't doing that in the Premier League, that's for sure. And he had easier chances to score in the Premier League, and he weren't taking.
What happened to Real Madrid, Kev? They were like, were they still riding the euphoria Champions League wave?
Maybe, but Sophie, look, sometimes you can't put your finger on it. Sometimes what could go wrong did go wrong. Sometimes that's what happens, and you know, they got taught a serious lesson. Now, Carlo Ancelotti, he's got bulletin board material for days, hasn't he? Could you imagine the egos that got hurt losing 4-0 at home to Barca? That'll be on the bulletin board, that'll be up so everybody could see the flack that these players are going to take. They're going to have to roll their sleeves up. They've still got a lot to play for. They're top of the league, Sophie. They're in the Champions League, etc. They've got it all to play for, but they're going to have to be a lot better than that. They were awful.
Yeah, they were awful. Bolo Tie, thank you everyone who chimed in on that. Oh, here we go. The porn stars are here. Hold on a second. I think that's why Newman joins the show. Thank you, Virginia. Spam alert. Got it, I believe I did. Okay, so we did the celebration. We did Emil Smith Rowe. We did Thomas Partey. We touched on Ober and Piers. I did a little Saka. I've got to end with this brewing storyline, Kev. What's coming, potentially? We touched on it at the beginning, but I wanted to save it to the end. Which, by the way, did you see the way Antonio Conte celebrated Tottenham's goals at the weekend? Oh, but it's okay for Antonio Conte, right? Is it all going to come down to that North London derby? Do you believe kind of... We've talked about it a lot on the show. I've said it for weeks. And if it does, at their place... I can't take it, Kev. I don't know. If it comes down to that game, Kev.
It's a game of football, so... Who knows, Sophie? Who knows whether it is or isn't? We don't know. But one thing we do know, that game's still going to be such a prominent game. So if all the chips are in the middle, or we're ahead of them, they're ahead of us, who knows what's going to happen? We don't know. But do we want it to be? Do you want it to be that game, Sophie? Obviously you don't.
I do not.
Yeah, obviously you don't. But do you know what? This is football. The football gods. We say the football gods. They're a clever lot. They will spin something in, so it can come down to that game.
This is why because Matty K just said we'll be ahead at that time, and from his mouth to God's ears. And like you said, you don't know with football, and it's not going to be easy. I don't even care about the mic right now. It's not going to be easy, Kev. I don't want it to come to that game. I just don't, because I can't deal with the consequences. I honestly feel as it would be worse than watching them play in the Champions League final, I think, versus Liverpool.
Well, I never watched it, so I wouldn't watch them.
Well, I saw the first minute Liverpool scored, and then I left and went running for the rest of the game.
I wouldn't watching them. Anyway, look.
I say running loosely, by the way.
If it comes down to it, it comes down to it. And it's one that, what an absolute... Again, because it's like, it will be in the balance, wouldn't it? You know, you win, and you can celebrate at their new gaff, can't you? You really can.
Which we've done before.
If it went against us, obviously then it's like you got it. But Sophie, that's what there's belief in this team. This team are going for it. Listen, we win our game in... No, there's no game... No, we've got a game in hand on them now, haven't we? We've got a game.
We have one game in hand, and let's be honest, West Ham seem to be putting their eggs in the Europa League basket right now. Then, well, but you never know.
They are. This game fell perfectly for Spurs. You could see that West Ham were leggy, and I'm not taking anything away from Spurs because they won it fair and square. But after the euphoria of that Thursday night game, went to 120 minutes, they looked a bit leggy. They looked a little bit weary, and you still have to beat these teams, Sophie. You still have to beat these teams. So, that's what you have to do. Listen, we've got games coming up, tough games that we have to win, Sophie. We have to get to that game first. We've got other stuff to take care of. So I understand what you're saying. You don't want it to come, but I don't even really want to look that far. I want to deal with the next game, which is Palace, which is Palace away. And if you remember rightly, we played Palace on the Monday night after International. Could you remember?
Yes.
And we drew 2-2. We equalised in the last knock-ins. Lacazette equalised.
Yes.
After we should have been out of sight. Then we let them back in, and they scored 2 goals second half, and it looked like they were going to beat us. Sophie, I don't even want it to come down to that game. But we got to take care of business. That's the difference. We
I
have
agree.
to take care of business.
And Matt, yes, I am worried about a fan meltdown. I really am. But it'll be what it'll be. You know what I mean?
It's horrible to think it, so don't think it yet.
Get the lasagnas out now. I don't fear Spurs. I just fear the occasion and the moment. Newman,
Fear the result.
I'm done with you today. You're out. Red card for Newman. He's done. Everyone's been calling for him. He's going to get blocked for 5 minutes. Here we go. Where is he? He's not going to like it, but here he is. Put user in a timeout. Learn your lessons, Newman. And he's got to earn. He's got to earn me. He's got to earn me.
Goodbye, Newman. Goodbye. Goodbye, Newman. Goodbye, Newman. Goodbye. Get out. Tayyip's killing it.
Now he will have to earn back me showing his humble pie art. Okay? So someone let him know. Tayyip, you can let your friend know. He's got to send me an email as to why I should share his humble pie art tomorrow. Oh gosh, he's backing Newman. Craig, all right then, fine. Oh my God, it's been so long. Let's do this, Kev. Craig, yellow for you. All right? This is the part of the show where the referee, you surround the referee and you're like trying to back. No, yellow card for you too now. Keep them coming. Who wants one?
Craig was booked for dissent, wasn't he? That's
dissent. Absolutely. Yeah. Newman has definitely done a Xhaka. I kind of love it.
By the way, the referee was a bit out of order. What
was this? I mean, 1, 2, 3.
What's all that? He's just done it like, where was all that? It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Absolute nonsense. There'll be plenty of time, I know, Fern Gully, to talk about the North London derby. Big games coming up. Here's what's happening this week. So with the international break, I know this may come as a shock to you guys, but we are going to take a little bit of a teeny tiny break. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there won't be a live show. Kev and I will be back tomorrow. But we will share other content with you on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Okay. So we're just taking advantage. I'm also traveling Wednesday through Friday as well. And but we will be online and we'll be in touch. So tomorrow we're going to have a special little show lined up for you. And so that's the schedule for this week. Sorry, just getting rid of the porn stars again. Super Kev, we did it. Top 5 talking points. That's it for today. By the way, to everyone, I'm off to cut my hair short again. So I'm just saying, if you're against it, speak now, forever hold your peace. But Kev, I'm off to do a...
I think, hair, it grows back. You had it cut short before and it's grown back. Sophie, can I say something? And I ask you something about the fans on Saturday?
He wants to give me a yellow, Kev, for what I said about Tottenham. Should I give myself a yellow? Do I deserve a yellow?
No, okay. Of course you don't.
Okay, Sophie, go on, Kev. You have the floor.
The fans, both at the stadium and online, were incredible.
Yeah.
What's your take on that fan base? The feeling that you get?
So I gave them 100 out of 10 at the weekend. And the away fans, I was texting Potsy during the game. I go, keep singing, louder, louder. I mean, they were brilliant. That's all you could hear on the broadcast. Yeah. Our away fans in particular, and what they're doing at the Emirates as well, creating a little bit more of a fortress again. It's very, very special. But the away fans, Kev, they are absolute diamonds, dynamite. That connectivity at the end of that match, throwing the shirts in, which has become a tradition across many clubs, yes, but the singing, the belief, the fact that we can fall in love with players over again. I said on the breakfast show to Natalie and Tony Cascarino on Sunday morning on TalkSport, when you go to get an Arsenal shirt, you're confused as to which player's name you want to put on the back of your shirt. It is beyond special. It's beyond unique. You've lived it. You've breathed it as a player. Tell me how special that feels, Kev, because I don't think we've had this since we had players we respected. Like, I think we respected Cech. We respected Santi. Bob Holding, I think, has been a player that has not really kind of lifted us to the heights we wanted, but he's been a player that we've respected. He's a good boy, right? Lacazette, a player that we've respected from the newer signings. But you have to go a little bit further back. I think Ramsey was someone, but in terms of the love affair and this vibe and this type of
Invincibles.
I think so.
They were the last team, I think. Yeah, I think so. But Sophie, we've spoke about connection. That connection between the team and the fan base is just there, and you look at it. People are saying, we've never been so connected for such a long time. Everyone hasn't been disconnected, and even hearing them sing Mikel Arteta's song was fantastic, because do you know what? Many a time he's just had to go and congratulate the players, and the fans haven't sung his name or anything like that. But we talk about the eye test, Sophie. There can't be no Arsenal fan who watches Arsenal now who don't see what's going on. Come on. You've got to see and feel it. You feel it, you see it, you feel it. The way the team are playing, and everyone is in. Everyone's got that belief. So, listen, the fans, salute the fans for sure. I think they've been incredible. You're right, at the Emirates, and especially away from home. And we need it for 10 more games in this
Totally.
league. Guys, we need to get them across that line. So important.
Totally. I just put the comment off screen, but I was raving about Santi. That's what I was saying. He was someone we respected and was so special. No doubt, But in terms of this, this kind of global connectivity, it's been a very, very long time. In terms of, how we felt as fans. Phil was there. He said it was great. I mean, I friends sending me videos from there.
Yeah.
Totally. If you want to see the show about Arsenal most underrated players, we premiered it Saturday night with Dan Potts and Tom Canton from Guna Talk TV. Please go check that out. Everyone's talking about the long hair. Craig, we love you too. It's all banner. It's very good. I'm going to get it cut off. I don't care. I can't bear it. I'm always in hats, Kev, and the summer's coming, and I can't be wearing beanies in the summer. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy. That's what matters.
Newman is back. Newman, you have to send me an email, okay? Ethelston, hello, Ethelston.
Ethelston's about, right, he's about, is he? Where has he been?
Newman, you've got to send me an email explaining yourself and why I should show your humble pie art now. So get to work, all right? And hope you learned your lesson right here, being in a timeout for a few minutes. We kept the show going just a little bit so you could come back. Clocks go forward next week. They've already done that in the United States. You were a bit harsh on him, Sophie. Says Virginia. What? Virginia? Oh. A couple of people have said I've been a bit hard on him, Kev.
Hard? No chance. No chance. No chance.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, great show. Thank you very much. We enjoyed it too. Super Kev, we'll be back tomorrow night with something special. And I think that's about it for tonight. Why don't you close us out? Squaddies from me.
There you go. You're getting a kiss before the haircut. There you go. Nice one, Squaddies. Well, here's what I'm going to say, Squaddies. Let's believe in this team. We have got 10 more games. We know they're going to be like cup finals, but we've got 10 more games to support this team with our heart. Look after yourself. I've got the humble pies in the oven. Never forget it. So, Squaddies, we're going to see you tomorrow. Tell your loved ones you love them, because we love you. And thanks for being part of our community, everybody. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, I salute you. Have a good night, a good day. At ease, Squaddies. At ease.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury squad.